call to order.
I call the Education Committee meeting to order.
First thing on the agenda is authorizing hiring of the architect for the HCCC project.
Yep. This is for the work on the roof and the science labs in the Johnson Hall building. The total amount of the job is gonna be $2,600,000. It's gonna be funded 50% from New York State, and 50% is coming from the HCC Foundation through private contributions, and up to $200,000 coming from Herkimer County. Any discussion on, or do I have a motion first? Mr. Hendricks, seconded by Mr. Ankerman, and this is Vinnie.
How about Ways and Means?
So move.
Okay, we got, Anderson and Kurtz.
Okay, any discussion?
Are they happy with the architect they chose?
Well, I guess they sent out so many bids and they got 8 back, and that's the one they picked, so,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
yes, Mr. Rose.
what's the size of the contract, just curious?
2.2.
Did you say
2.6 million?
2.6.
2.6 million, yeah. 50% is gonna be funded by the state.
And when this was presented to us in a very thorough presentation at the college, we committed, if we had to, but we were also hopeful that they were gonna be getting money other places, and you started to say that I may have missed a piece of it. When will we know what we're really gonna have to?
No, we told them we go up to $200,000, but if it's less, if they get money from other sources, then we don't put in that much.
When will we know?
I guess when they start building. Or there's Nick, I'm sorry, I referred to this,
For some people that don't know me, I'm Nick Lane, I'm the Vice President for Administration and Finance. This is in the infancy stage with the design and everything, so until we actually go out to bid on the street for the project, then we'll have, a better understanding of that. And plus, up until recently, we still have private donors coming in that are funding it on the private side, so, we're looking at to use the county's monies as the last resort.
You like that?
Yeah, so we're, it's hard, I can't give you an exact answer until we actually get back some of the bids on that.
Thank you.
Architectural costs are approximately $200,500. It's $192,000 with reimbursables not to exceed $8,500.
yes, Mr. Brzezinski.
Nick, maybe you can answer this. How old is the building? Oh my God. Have you any idea?
It's the original, one of the original buildings from the college, which would be about 1970.
Opened 1971, built between 69 and 71.
Tom Stock's our Director of Facilities and Operations. He's been with the college almost 35 years.
Is there a number of roofs that have been put on this building, or is this the original roof, or?
It's not the original.
This is the second roof. A roof was put on in 1987. It replaced the original built-up roof. It's got a rubber EPDM roof on it right now that's been on there, about 20 years. It's about its life expectancy. There's some other issues going on with the roof and the metal mansard. There's a mansard on all the 5 original buildings. There's a problem with a flashing detail on it, which we're investigating. But the roof has failed. It's lived its life. EPDMs are about good for about 20 years, and this is at 20 years, and we want to solve both problems: the leaking mansard, and in conjunction with putting a new roof on.
So there'll be another roof, a rubber roof put on this building? Is that what?
We haven't determined what type of membrane we're going to put on it, but that's out there. It's possible it'll be another rubber. It won't be a 3-ply like built-up roof like a stone ballasted roof. That would be far too expensive. It's a better roofing system, but I think the cost we're looking for a 15 to 20-year warranty on it, and we won't settle for anything less than a 15-year warranty, but we'll hope for a 20-year warranty.
And you already have a contractor, or?
No.
No, we haven't gone out to bid yet.
Yeah, oh, okay.
This is just where the architect's coming on board for the design.
When do the bids come out?
We don't have an exact date. We'd probably like to, currently right now, once we get through the design, it would have to be probably within the next couple months, pretty soon. It has to be, because we want to complete this project by when the students come back to school at the end of August. This is going to be a very quick project. And the reason why we combined is because we do have leaking in Johnson Hall near the labs. So if we put all that new labs in and it's raining, it's gonna be not a good, the donors would not like it.
Yes,
The rubber roof that comes off, would that be placed in a landfill? Is that a special type of thing that has to be put in a landfill, or?
It was all abated when the roof was done originally, the abatement was done for that roof project in '87. What we're looking at now, we just did a roof scan, instead of a thermal imaging, we did a roof scan, took pores. It's very possible that we're not gonna have to disturb the tapered insulation or do any other, there's 350 square feet of ruined insulation that came as a result of the roof scan. So we're gonna replace that. We're probably gonna be able to mechanically adhere a new membrane right over top of the other membrane. The biggest portion of the roof project is going to be the mansard, the sheet metal mansard.
So you won't have to worry about asbestos or anything?
It was
Anything
abated
that has
fully
to go in the
before.
landfill?
You're right, we won't have to worry about it whatsoever,
But we will have asbestos abatement within the labs itself.
inside.
Thank you.
One other positive note, Mr. Chairman, the gentleman that's the lead architect is a 1978 graduate of Herkimer County Community College.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
thanks, Mr. Lynn. Any other discussion?
Peter?
Oh, sorry.
I just curious as to who the architect is.
The architect I just said was C.S. Arch of Albany, New York.
Collins and Scoville Architects. Principal contact is Randy Collins.
Oh, okay.
They're out of Albany, New York.
All in favor, Ways and Means?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
All in favor of education?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, guys. Sorry we're a little late.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Support.
Motion to adjourn education, Jane Manine. Second, Mr. Hendricks. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
Motion for consent agenda number 2, Ways and Means agenda.
So moved.
Dennis?
Second. Jim motioned it. Whichever he didn't do, I'll do. You choose.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approved jail salaries transfer.
Excuse me, the jail salaries are going to be short by, at the most, $70,000. I think it might be a little less than that, but it's close to that. That is in the total personal services item, not necessarily salaries, but salaries, permanent part-time, and overtime. So that's for 2011.
It's going to be short for 2011.
Correct.
40 out from,
Excuse me?
40 out also?
Oh, I'm sorry, the boarding out is also going to be short, about $95,000. We're estimating $95,000.
Where are we taking it from?
Actually, the money is all coming from excess that we happen to have this year in public health nursing because of the getting rid of the job.
Yes, go ahead.
What did we pay Oneida County last year? Any idea, just roughly?
Oneida County? I don't know, but I could look it up in a few minutes.
No, I just FYI, I don't know if everybody knows, but Oneida County increased their rates from $80 a day to $90 a day starting February 2nd, so it's up 12.5%. So.
Mr. Chairman, how does that compare to Fulton and Montgomery County?
I don't know, it's not on my agenda.
Throw it out
You know, Mike?
Yeah, it's, Fulton and Montgomery are both 80 still, until they read the paper.
Yeah.
Pat,
Yeah.
these are, this is for everybody's education, they're trying to close the books on 2011. And they're coming up with these shortages, and this is not uncommon, this happens every year. Different things are short, and this is a way that you can balance your books and finish out your year, so that's for everybody's edification.
Okay, motion to approve the jail salaries, and are we also approving the boarding out at this time?
Yes.
So we have a motion to approve the jail salaries and the boarding out costs. Jail salaries of $70,000, boarding out costs of $95,000, additional monies for 2011. Kurt Ackerman, Dutch Smith. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Just on the 70,000 shortfall, is that directly driven by overtime? And do we know what recruitment efforts have been used? Because I haven't seen anything in the paper. I mean, how do we not have the overtime? If it's a recruitment issue?
Yeah, it is driven by overtime. Jim and I have been discussing whether we need to open up our hiring practices to outside the county. So that's gonna be a discussion we'll have at another time. But
Okay,
I think
thank you.
there's probably a good possibility that we might have to do that. We wanna have a meeting with the sheriff first. I wanna try to understand everything that's going on within that issue, with that issue. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Approve ETA salaries transfer. What is this?
We got a letter from Mike asking to make corresponding end-of-the-year transfers within all ETA money, within accounts as he transfers from, training to administration to summer to et cetera, to balance the books.
Is there dollar figures, or
Yeah, then I can make a copy too for everybody.
it's the same thing though, right? He's trying to balance up the end of his account.
Absolutely.
his account.
It's all coming from within ETA?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And none of it's coming from supply categories, it's all within the personal service side of it?
You got supplies, $15 and $85 from some supply category, a $45 one from contracted, $1,200 from mileage, $200 from miscellaneous, and that's going into the other accounts.
So it's chunk change.
It's not huge dollar amounts.
so move.
Okay, you got that from Dennis and Kurt.
Kurt, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Amend salary schedule number 1 for county administrator of 2%, as we've done with others, that is appointments coming up.
Second.
We got a,
Ackerman and course.
okay, is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Approve budget amendment for STOA.
Yeah, this is, again, I'll take it if I need help, Vern, please help me. This is the pass-through money, which goes for Bernie Bus. We budgeted $160,000 last year. The state sent us $172,000. This money all gets passed out through the Bernie Bus for the bus route. So it's an additional $12,000, $12,659.42.
Those are mass transportation aid monies.
Mandated to where it goes
This
then and
is
how.
federal, pass through to the state, pass through to us,
Correct,
and it can only be used for mass transit.
correct.
So move.
Second. Bernie. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Approve budget amendment in district attorney's account for the YWCA law enforcement coordinator. That $30,000.
How much, I missed how much you said that last time.
$30,000.
The grant is $30,000.
And that's the grant through the YWCA for the law enforcement coordinator. They do exactly what?
Basic work with domestic violence, is that the right word, Vern?
Yeah,
Or child abuse?
Child center,
I'm sorry.
CAC, yep.
Motion?
Motion.
Second? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approve renewal of the contract with Mohawk Valley Consulting Services for the Employee Assistant Program. Steve?
Yep, asking for a resolution for a contract again with Mohawk Valley Consulting Associates.
They ran our EAP program last year. Contract will run from February 1st of 12 through January 31st of 13. No increase in the cost per employee per year, still $15.50. However, we are down from 544.5 FTEs to 491, so the contract will go down from a little over 8,400 to it'll be just over 7,600 now, about $800 less than
This program is to help our employees with different situations they might be facing in the workforce and outside of the workforce.
Motion.
I'll move it.
Okay, Jimmy, you second?
I'll defer, yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Approve advertising for real property tax director's position. We've received a notice from Mary Ann that she'll be retiring.
It's just an informational notification. By law, Mary Ann will be resigning to the clerk in 60 days, but this gives us a little bit of heads up on what's going on. It's a crazy law in the state that you can't resign until 30 days before you leave your position. So this is an advisory notice to us. She'll be leaving.
What are the requirements of the position?
Steve, do you have anything?
There's a state certification.
They're set by state. Minimum qualifications are set by the state of New York. I can get those to you if you want. It's rather lengthy.
Is exam or no, just qualification?
No, it's a non-competitive position. But the qualifications are set by the state, and then when a new director comes in, there is some training requirements that they'll have to go through.
Steve, wouldn't someone who's certified completely as an assessor be qualified?
Depending on the number of years of experience. Also, this appointment, it's made by the legislature, but it has to be approved by the state.
So I need a motion.
Motion.
Second, Bernie. Steve.
Are we gonna
Any other
advertise in your
discussion?
newspaper too?
Yeah,
Are we gonna advertise in your newspaper too?
we should. There's very valuable and competent people there.
Just like everywhere else.
I'll do newspapers, I'll put it on the website, I'll put it on the state system like we always do. We'll get the word out. We'll post it internally.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
She's done a good job for us too.
Approved contract for assigned counsel. You know, in the past, Keith Powers has done that, and he's done a very good job. We're gonna keep him on. But it also goes before the Bar Association. Is that within Herkimer County, obviously? And they're the people who make the nominations, and they've nominated him again to do this, Keith Powers. Yeah.
When you say contract, is there an actual, if the person's not a county employee, we have a contract with him?
That's correct.
He's not a county employee? I thought, I've seen him, no, okay. That's Keith
I
Bowers.
think we changed it.
That's been changed, it got changed last year.
I missed it, thanks. Now, what's the value of that contract?
Compensation is $34,434 annually. Receipt of health insurance benefits, reimbursement of reasonable expenses, including postage and printing costs, upon acceptable documentation and vouchering of such expenses, liability insurance for duties and activities while acting as assigned counsel.
What this person does is they assign counsel, literally, right, to cases? Is that what the job is? I mean, they're not.
Sometimes, but sometimes the judges do that, but they oversee the assigned counsel cases and primarily make sure that they're not overbilling us for a lot of the work that's being done.
Do we have, Mr. Chairman, any other outside contracts where we provide health insurance to the person?
Steve? This goes way back to when Carl Scalise was with us, that we were providing health insurance.
Yeah, that's in my head.
Mine either, I'm not trying to be avoiding, off the top of my head, this has been one that's been there for.
I think you either have to have a public defender program, who's an officer of the county, or this as an officer.
This is one of the options.
Yeah.
Yes, these are your two
You're right, now
options.
that you say that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And in the past, it has been, that person wasn't employed.
And we stopped that a year ago. What prompted that? What did we say? Retirement, right? Is that what we saved in this?
Correct.
What's the total public defender? 400,000? No, isn't that the contract?
It's about 280 or something.
I thought it was 400,000.
Anyway, we have a motion, second already.
Yeah, then we're still one of the lowest in the state to Hamilton County.
We got punished for it.
How much is reimbursed by the state of public defender?
We're down to 73,000, and we can apply for up to 18,000.
But they started out at 73, and that's another one where they pulled the rug out from
Oh,
under
it's
us.
even more than that then,
Yeah,
about 125.
when they first started. First it was nothing, then they jumped in big.
Remember, they doubled us to 75 and
Yep.
those numbers, and then they've been, just like they do with almost everything we do.
I think you'd be, you can find it's 400,000.
Do I need a motion?
Yes.
Motion, please. Kurt. And seconded by Bernie.
Just, Mr. Chairman, just one other question, because it's a contract. Who oversees the contract? Who manages that contract? What department is it reported to? The judge? Is that, I mean, who's the person work for?
No, it comes to me. And of course, I have a great attorney to work with also.
A few years ago, we were told we may not audit these bills, correct, Jim?
Absolutely.
Our auditor felt she had a case of impropriety, and we followed up on it and got nowhere, and we're told we may not audit these bills, that this is between the judge and this assigned counsel. Correct?
Right.
And when it was researched with the state, we were told by Office of Court Administration the same thing. But this, I believe, is it 400,000, Ben?
It is, you've got a better memory than I do, it is 400,000.
But we have $400,000 of taxpayer money going out there for indigent defense. And I still say, well, I got the soapbox here, that when someone says, I need an attorney, I can't afford an attorney, you should also have that application for welfare right there, and have him sign it. Because we've got about half a dozen people over there in that building that do means test for people to get welfare. They check every asset that they've got. And I think if they say they're indigent, then they're indigent, and they should be entitled for welfare right alongside of a court-appointed attorney. But
Why aren't we doing that?
We
that's
don't
up to the judge.
we
You're
don't
not
have
gonna
the
tell the
authority.
judges how to run their court.
Well, you asked them that just before they run for election.
I think New York State, through the Office of Court Administration, ought to tell them they shall do that. Go ahead.
Thanks. All in favor? Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we're going to amend resolutions number 250 of 2011, authorizing Article 78 hearing against the Village of Herkimer. Rob, if you could.
Mr. Chairman, the Village of Herkimer has recently begun to take steps to amend its zoning ordinance to prevent the construction of a correctional facility at the PNC site, because this is where we're a long ways down the road in the process, and have expended considerable sums of money. We are already seeking court relief for the village's refusal to provide sewer services. And we believe it'd be advisable to also seek court assistance in connection with this very late step that the village is taking against the county. So that's why we're asking that we be allowed, and the chairman be allowed to sign whatever documents are necessary to add this as an additional cause of action on behalf of the county against the village.
Motion, please.
Motion.
Who did?
Bruce. Ackman. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Can we be refreshed, the terms, were there any costs associated with the resolution number 250, and will there be any additional costs associated with it?
Most of it's done within house, right, on this, Rob?
Yeah, it'll be handled so far by staff council. May have some filing fees, service and process fees, but at this point, minimal expense.
Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Is there anything other for this legislation? I mean, this Ways and Means Committee?
Just to clarify, did I hear a no there?
Dennis,
Right there.
that's the one I have. I don't know if there's anybody else I have. You have
How
it?
about no to take it?
I guess I'll third out.
Having no more issues? Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Dennis and Bernie. Ways and Means is adjourned.
Property